tell you the time when you are supposed to record down. Initially, there never used to be accounting records whatsoever, simply because the number of transactions were very few. But because of the loss of memory and of a human being who cannot remember things for a long period of time, and because of the international trade, which increased the number of transactions, and because we want to see the progress of the company, how we are actually, the company is progressing, then they decided, let us have a system which can enable us to achieve those objectives. Now, businesses normally enter into a number of transactions, buying goods, selling goods regularly, paying expenses regularly, earning income regularly, buying fixed assets regularly, which is numerous for the entire period, which human being cannot be able to remember them for a long period of time. Now, to solve this particular problem of numerous kind of transactions, they created a system which can be able to remind them what has taken place. And what they started with is what we call bookkeeping. They didn't start with the accounting you see today. They started with what we call bookkeeping. And the bookkeeping is just nothing but recording business transactions. Just recording business monetary transaction. That's what we call bookkeeping. But recording business transaction down without running what or knowing what we have actually recorded, what is revealing from the record we have done, it has got no purpose. So they decided just keeping the records is not sufficient. We have to learn what we have recorded from the record we have made. And they started with creating another kind of system of accounting, what we call accountancy, or we call it accounting. And accounting is just nothing but a system or a language which we speak to our business. Businesses is an artificial person. We need to communicate to our business. The business needs to communicate to us. The only language which the business actually understands and which we can be able to understand is what we call accounting, accountancy. And this accounting is just nothing but a system of identifying, recording, summarizing, classifying, analyzing business monetary transaction and interpreting this information to the users. And that's exactly what we actually call, in this particular case, as accounting or accountancy for that matter. Now, there are two systems which have been created. One is bookkeeping, which is just mere recording business transactions. Another one is accounting, which is just a system of identifying, summarizing, classifying, analyzing, and interpreting this information to the users who use it to make informed decisions. And that's exactly what we call the accounting and the bookkeeping, which is just a system which could assist us to achieve our main objective. One will wonder now, why are we again creating an accounting which is going to identify and record which a bookkeeper has already done? There is a difference between bookkeeping and accounting. Now, the first kind of demarcation which exists between bookkeeping and accounting is, in bookkeeping is done regularly. Every day we are recording down. Every minute we do record our business transaction. But In accounting, we don't prepare our books of accounts regularly. We normally prepare them at the end of the financial year. So therefore, in financial accounting or in accountancy, it's always done at the end of the financial year. It can be after 6 months. It can be after 1 year. It can be after 15 years. So it doesn't matter, but it must have a period when they are supposed to create their books of account. Now, that's exactly what we actually call one demarcation which exists between bookkeeping and accounting. Then, the other demarcation which exists between the two is that bookkeeping does not have rules and regulations. It's just like keeping having a diary. Nobody can give you how you are supposed to record anything in your diary. You record it the way you want to be in that case. Therefore, there are no rules, no regulations in this particular bookkeeping. But in accounting, there are supposed to be rules and regulations which are supposed to be followed when preparing the books of accounts, and that's what we actually call the principles and principles or concepts of accounting. The other demarcation in bookkeeping is purely for the internal users. The only internal users, we keep our record internally for our own use. But for accounting, it's for both internal users and external users. And that's exactly one another demarcation which is existing between the two. The other one, in bookkeeping, there are no accounts to be prepared there at all. We only just record something down. So that's why anybody can be a bookkeeper. You don't need to have knowledge in accounting so that you can be able to record any information down. If I tell you sit here, and then from there, you record all the transactions taking place, you have not become an accountant. You are just nothing but a bookkeeper. Normally in advanced countries, bookkeeping is done by a computer. But in this case now, we have also basically to record them down in all different books, which we are going to see later. But in accounting, there are so many other, basically, accounts we need to prepare. We prepare the income statement, which we call the trading profit and loss account. We prepare the balance sheet. We prepare the cash flow statement. We prepare consolidated accounts. So there are so many accounts which we need to prepare in respect of accounting. The other demarcation which exists between this bookkeeping and accounting in this particular case, in the bookkeeping, we record those transactions which normally affect our internal affairs in that case. But in accounting, we can even affect those ones which also affect this particular kind of the accounting which you are supposed to have. And that's exactly what we actually call in this particular aspect of accounting. Those are some of the demarcation which exist between the bookkeeping and accounting. Then why do we actually have this bookkeeping and accounting? Now, I don't know, there is a person saying he's not getting